right. Hey, dope people. It's your girl Paisley. I'm the Mindset Makeover Maven and the Dope Life Movement Creator. And you know what time it is. If you are joining us live, go ahead and drop your heart emojis down below. And if you're catching us on the replay, make sure you drop your number twos in the comments down below. And don't forget to tell us what you're sipping on because we want to know. We want to know. We want to know. Welcome. We are here with Sippin and Soul Speak. It's the next episode, and we have our lovely guest here tonight. Megan is here from Montanya Rum. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having us here.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. We are so super excited because it's Women's History Month and we're having all women owned brands this month. And we have you here all the way from Colorado. So I know we're on different time zones and all that good stuff. What are you guys, 3 hours difference from us?
Just 2 hours. It's 5
Just
o'clock.
two. So 2 hours difference from us. And I know you had a lot of stuff going on in your business. And we thank you for taking the time out to join us here on Sippin' and Soul Speak and talk about your brand and your lovely liquid that you have in these beautiful bottles. So I'm super excited about it because I'm a rum girl. I think rum was probably my very first love when it came to spirits. So I have had a great affection for rum for a very long time at this point. So um so Megan, tell us a little bit about Montanya. Am I saying it right?
You are saying it perfectly. Yep.
Okay, great.
Thank you for asking.
Nothing
Um,
like over here murdering the name of your brand.
for sure. So Montanya Rum has always been a Colorado rum company. We craft rum high up in the Rocky Mountains. We currently make the rum in Crested Butte, Colorado. If anyone's ever been there, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful, picturesque mountain town, about 9,000 feet up. So we are in a ski town, so we get a lot of tourism that way. In the summers, we are the wildflower capital of Colorado. So you can literally go on hikes or walks and the wildflowers will kind of be up to your waist, which is pretty magical. Um, people
Wow.
people like to ask, why do we make rum in the mountains? There's two sides of it. Our founder, Karen Hoskin, was celiac, so whiskey didn't sit well with her. So she kind of found a love for rum. Another thing is that rum has a lot of mountain traditions. So aging rum at that kind of elevation in the mountains, we get a lot of different complex flavor profiles that you typically wouldn't get at sea level. Um, yeah. So
Love that.
we like to say we're America's high mountain rum, made at 9,000 feet. We're a B Corp company, which means that sustainability is at our core. So all of our rum has no additives, and we try to make it in a way that's good for the environment and gives back to the community.
Absolutely. I love that. So you guys sent us some great information on your brand and your products. And I love like the marketing materials are just beautiful, right? You guys sent us this about your pineapple habanero, and then this shows all of your different expressions with some information on the brand. And I read that, I was like, oh, that's so interesting, right? A force for good. I love that. Sustainability is super important. We need to we need to do our best to kind of clean up some of the mess that has happened in our world over the decades and whatnot. So I love that you guys are doing your part. And then you sent us this happy hour card that has a old fashioned made with your rum on it. So I love these materials. We got some great little stickers. Um, so I do like goodies. So I get the box and I never know. Is it just going to be a bottle or is it going to be magic and rainbows?
Yeah.
So thank you. And then you said I'll talk about this a little later because I was like that was interesting. And so yeah, so and I don't even know, we do a lot of, reaching out to different brands or people reaching out to us and saying, "Hey, do you know about this brand? You need to talk to them." And so you guys, kind of jumped in and we're like, "Yes, absolutely. We'd love to come on." And, I know it's been a couple months as we were trying to plan and get you here, to be able to talk about, your product. So you're making rum in the mountains, in the wildflower capital, um, and you guys are using the Colorado water too to create that. So everything's kind of sourced right there, for you, and being able to create a great product, with all the things that I think that's super impactful. Um, it's impactful for your business. It's impactful for the world. It's impactful for your local area and all of that good stuff. So I do want to get into the bottles, right? So you sent us this is your Oro.
Yep.
Um, so beautiful bottle. It gives a whiskey vibe too. And then we have your pineapple habanero flavored rum. But you guys also have bitters. So what made you guys decide, hey, we want to do bitters?
Yeah, absolutely. So we ran a cocktail bar in Crested Butte since like 2011. And at our cocktail bar, just because of our licensing being a distillery and manufacturer, we could only basically sell or put into our cocktail programs what we manufactured. So
Oh,
we wanted to kind of have like a mixology type bar and be able to do a lot of these craft cocktails. So we made all of our bitters in-house since day one. And we recently kind of brought them to distribution so people can buy them online and use them at their home bars.
I love that. And so you sent us the pineapple habanero and the citrus bitters and everything that we need to make this old fashioned as well. That I know you're having an old fashioned today, right?
Yep. Yeah, my ice is a little melted by now, but it's still good.
It's all good. I always start with some high quality H2O because we have to stay hydrated.
Absolutely.
So, so now how long have you guys been to market with Montanya?
So we started in 2008. So our first 3 years were kind of small mom and pop. We just ran a little rum bar in the mountains. And then we partnered with a distributor, Republic National, RNDC, in about 2012. And we've kind of mainly been distributed on that West Coast, kind of in Colorado, Texas, California. As I kind of said when we were talking before the call, we did have some footprint in New York and New Jersey that we're trying to expand upon.
Great, great, amazing. So, guys, for those of you who are in the DMV area, I think you got to go online and order. So
MontanyaRum.com. It's easy.
go to montanyarum.com and get and order your bottle. So I think I'm gonna start with the Oro.
Yep.
But I do wanna, we're gonna get into the sips. I've already poured me a little sip here. So tell me a little bit about this expression. Like, is this one of your most popular expressions? Because you guys have four different expression, well, five, right?
Yep. So we call it the core four. So the Oro, this bottle right here was always part of that. So these are aged rums. They all start from Louisiana sugarcane. They're all distilled by our team up in the mountains, proof with mountain spring water, and then they're aged in Colorado whiskey barrels. So you said you were kind of getting that whiskey tone from it. So all the color that you see is coming from the barrel itself. So actually, kind of when you distill any spirit, it comes off the still clear. And if you see color in a bottle, it's typically because it's added or because of the barrel. Montanya, we don't add any additives back to our rum. So this Oro rum that you'll taste, spends 2 years in that whiskey barrel. In the rum world, it's kind of called a gold rum.
Right, right. So
We like to say our rum's smooth, not sweet.
it is, and so, and I love rum. I am a rum girl, and this is it is. It's some rums can be super sweet, and so some people are like, yeah, but this is actually very smooth. So I can see how it lends itself to an old fashioned, a rum old fashioned,
Hmm.
because it's not sweet at all. Um, but it gives that that good smooth flavor. It's not, like it's not burning your chest. But it gives it's a very smooth
Yeah.
flavor. And I'm trying to.
And we like to also show people that like rum, so like the Oro is really great with like a little ginger beer and lime. So like that's something someone could easily do at home. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, if anyone's a fan of Mai Tais or pina coladas, the Oro would be a good choice for those.
I'm a fan because I don't love sweet. Of course, back in the day, I would drink more sweet drinks, but now as my palate has refined and I've become more mature of a woman, I love, I prefer my drinks to not be super sweet. I like to be, and I do like to be able to sit down and have a sip of spirit neat if I want to, or just on ice.
Yeah.
Um, and and what I've learned over the years of doing Sippin and Soul Speak is that a lot of the times with other products that have the additives, it's why they're kind of hard on your palate and hard, like you need to put something in it because it has all of these other things instead of just being a pure spirit. And so this is amazing. And then you also have the other, impact from having the additives in those spirits. So so tell us what you put in your old fashioned.
Yep. So in my old fashioned today, is just some maraschino cocktail cherries. I personally love the cherry juice, so I kind of do one cherry with just a little dollop of juice. Um,
Okay.
it's got 2 ounces of our Oro rum and then our citrus bitters. And then I kind of give that some stirs over a king cube, and you have a little rum old fashioned.
All right. So I was going to do a rum old fashioned, and then I realized I remember like, you're gonna do a rum old fashioned. So I after so I'm gonna taste this pineapple habanero, which I was like, "Ooh, is it going to be, you know,
Yeah.
very spicy or not?" But
So
it doesn't smell spicy. I can say that. It
so that's
and I
actually
can it smells juicy, but I did taste it, and it gives a little kick.
Mhm. Yeah, it's got habanero in the name, so it had to have a kick to it. And kind of, we don't have it with us today, but we make a platino, which is our white rum. So our white rum was the base for that, and
Mhm.
we took real ingredients, nothing artificial. We dehydrated pineapples to look like chips almost,
Yeah.
and then let those infuse in the rum for 3 weeks. And at the very end, we add the peppers just for a few days. Um, and we kind of want it to have enough spice to where it stands out with other flavors in a cocktail, but also that when you're sipping it, it's not like completely shocking the back of your mouth.
So I do like that, right? Now I like spicy. So you definitely know, like I've had some brands that you taste a little bit of the heat, right? And not necessarily like really get it. Now, this isn't enough to make you go, "Oh my gosh," but that heat is there on that back end, but you get that full like juicy pineapple flavor on the front. And then right after you're like, "Ooh, yep, there's the pepper."
Hmm.
And but it's still smooth and not overpowering, I'll say. So what I decided when I tasted, I'm like, this is so delicious. I'm gonna on the show, I'm gonna do a daiquiri with the pineapple habanero. So I have my lime juice in here.
Awesome.
I'm going to put some ice in here.
Yeah, and that's actually the newest product extension that our company's released. We released that back October. So it's in a different bottle shape. The bottle is actually made out of 100% recycled glass. And
Oh,
then a local artist did the label. So if you notice, it kind of looks different than our main lineup. And we kind of, since it's a flavored rum, technically, we want it to kind of stand out.
gotcha. It definitely does. It does stand out, but it's still classy. Like sometimes I think that the label, and I love that you said that there was a local artist that did this, right? So um the label doesn't give like it still looks very classic and not like, oh, this is just a fun cocktail, right? This is, or a fun spirit. But it's still fun. It's um a vibrant label. But that's still classy. So I'm gonna
That's a cute shaker you got there.
oh thank you.
Yeah, we actually, just for the listeners, we use the pineapple habanero kind of on like a play of a margarita at our bar. So we use the pineapple habanero with fresh lime juice, agave, and a little cilantro muddled in.
Oh,
So that's just a little four-step cocktail that people can use it with.
love that. That sounds amazing. I thought about that too. I'm like, this would be a great riff on a margarita. And I'm gonna put my Blue Henry dehydrated lime in here because guys, I love Blue Henry. Also a woman-owned brand. So get into that, get that on your bar. Oh yeah. Yep.
And now, what did you put in there? The pineapple habanero.
Pineapple habanero, just lime and a little agave.
Nice.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So now you get your sugar cane, you said from Louisiana. Now you're from Louisiana. So is that why you get it from Louisiana or?
No, we kind of always kind of since the beginning sourced our sugar cane from Louisiana.
Mhm.
Um, Louisiana, a lot of people don't know, but out of all the 50 states, Louisiana makes grows the most sugar cane. Um, so just kind of little like background lesson, kind of the history behind rum is it if you look at the history of sugar and how it's distributed around the world, that's kind of how rum came to be. So
Mhm.
molasses, which I think 90% of the rums in the world are made from molasses, and molasses was a product that you got from making sugar. Um,
Right.
so that's kind of, we use that. We use Louisiana molasses, Louisiana sugarcane to craft our rum. We were very keen from the start of like using US ingredients, just so like if we can source it as locally as we can. Um, we can't grow sugarcane in Colorado. You, you
Right.
you can grow a sugar beet, and there are some distilleries in Colorado making rum from sugar beets, but we think sugar cane is the way to go.
Yeah, beet sugar is very different than the cane sugar.
Yep. Um, yeah. And the cane sugar that we use is unrefined, so it's not like the sugar you're going to see at the grocery stores. So it's still full of those like caramel toffee. It's got a lot of flavor behind it. That
Gotcha. That makes sense. I think, with with where we are in the world today, like having your product being sourced here, and as locally as possible is a benefit to you from a supply chain perspective at this point because things are going to get real interesting around here with things that are not sourced locally. So, you guys are ahead of the game on some of that. So we're not getting political, but that's the reality of where we are today. So
Yep. Yeah, and all of our barrels, so all of our rum is kind of aged except for the pineapple. So it's all we use Colorado bourbon barrels for that. There's a whiskey distillery in Denver, Colorado called Law's Whiskey House. And they've started in like 2011. So we use their barrels. I kind of a little background on myself. I came from like the production world of the craft spirits industry. And I think it really makes a difference when you are able to use a barrel that was just freshly harvested or freshly dumped. So like, they harvest the whiskey out of them and then we're getting the barrels the next week and filling them with rum. So the barrel doesn't have a lot of time to dry out, still fresh and wet from that whiskey, and it really contributes to the rum, I think, itself. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
I
there's
think I think you can definitely you can taste that in the craftsmanship in your product, like it comes through in the liquid, right? And that's really important. I don't think that a lot of people, realize like the different steps and when you're resting your liquid in a barrel and how long that process takes, right? People are thinking like you're just in the backyard making 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 a spirit. No, there's a whole process, and especially when you have it barrel aged, it's sitting in those barrels and soaking up that um, flavor and color from the barrel's previous use. So
totally. And a little science lesson on like aging rum at elevation that a lot of people don't know. So like if we distilled the rum the same way and I aged a barrel in Louisiana and I aged a barrel in Colorado in the mountains, it would taste totally different. And some people are like, well, why? And it's kind of based off of two things, temperature and pressure. But in Colorado, in the mountains, we have huge temperature swings. So, it can get up to 75 during the day in the summer, and then at night it might get down to 40. So we're talking like a 30 to 40 degree difference. And so when you have that drop in temperature, it's basically going to cause the liquid inside the barrel, which for us is rum, to move in and out of the barrel staves, which is the wood that makes up the barrel at a different rate than you would at sea level. So the story goes is we can get more complex aging at elevation. Um, and the traditions with rum kind of started in Guatemala, where they would bring the barrels to the mountains to age because it
mhm.
felt like the rum itself tasted better. So because of the temperature and how it's moving in and out of the barrel. Yeah. So
It's so fascinating because there is such a science to it all, right? When you're talking about making these spirits and things like that. So even when you're creating recipes for foods and you're putting things together, it's really there's an entire science behind it. And then we just get to go to our local retailer and purchase it and like, oh, this is amazing. Right? And we don't realize that there's a whole entire science behind it, a process, and to get that sugar cane and molasses from Louisiana, and then get that spring water from Colorado, and to put it in these barrels and create this liquid that you share with the world. And I don't think that a lot of the times we don't even remotely think about that. We're just like, oh, this is good, or I don't like it. But there's an entire process behind it. So you got into what made you decide like, hey, I want to get into making spirits.
That's a great question. So I grew up in Louisiana. I went to a college called LSU State College. I went there for engineering, because kind of growing up in the South when you were good at math and science, oil and gas was where the family wanted you to go. I quickly realized that that wasn't the lifestyle I wanted to live. So I did some internships with like gas companies and was like, kind of went through a little crisis in my head of like, what am I gonna do? And ended up getting hired on at a local rum distillery. They're called Oxbow Rum. It's another women-owned rum brand. Definitely should check it out. Oxbow, people are like, what does that mean? It's a bend in the river. So basically, the bend in the river fertilized their sugarcane fields. So I worked for a company that was owned by a sugar mill. So I saw the process of making rum from it being grown as a grass stalk to in the bottle, which was really cool and learned a lot and kind of fell in love with the artistry of the craft spirit space. I'm a very hands-on person. So like, you know, being in the distillery, moving hoses around, messing with tanks, distilling stuff was so much fun than sitting behind a computer. I kind of excelled in that way, and I took my first road trip to Colorado in my early 20s and saw the mountains for the first time after living in the South my whole life and was like, oh my goodness, I I can't not be living amongst these giants is kind of honestly how it went. So I started looking for jobs in Colorado and found Karen Hoskin, who is the founder of Montanya Rum. So we've always kind of been a women-owned rum brand. I reached out to her. She was expanding and kind of like at a pivotal point of the rum brand. So I kind of moved and helped her build out and install her new distillery. So we were small. So now our new distillery, we can do about 10x the production we were able to do.
Oh, wow.
Um, so I got hired on as kind of like a temp position. She loved me. I loved her. I loved the town. I loved the community I found in the mountains. I decided to make it my new home. And about 3 years into me working for the company Montanya, I found out the previous owner wanted to step down. She had owned this small business for the past 15 years and was kind of ready for a change. So me and my business partner slash dear best friend, Renee Newton, we're both employees of the company, and we kind of now we run the company. So it was kind of sold to two people that work for the company, which is pretty special, and you don't see that a lot in the craft spirit space.
So Montanya is a it's a very different name. What's the origin of the name Montanya?
Great question. So it's spelled with a Y. And this is a question I do need to dig down with the previous owner a little bit more. But Montana in Spanish, Montana, means mountains,
Ah,
but it's not spelled that way on our bottle. I think she spelled it that way on the bottle so she could trademark it and it would be kind of different. But Montana in Spanish means mountains, and that's always where we've crafted rum, and it's kind of been where our soul's been.
got it. I love that. I
Yeah,
love that. So
yeah.
yes, Montanya with an inye.
Yep,
with the with the tilde
exactly.
over the N is definitely
And you got the name
Montanya.
right because a lot of people say Montoya or Montana or they think we're from Montana. So kudos to you for knowing how to say it. It can sometimes be a struggle.
I'm hooked on phonics. That's the era that I grew up in. so, so yes. So yeah, I didn't even think of that. Like it's the mountain, so it's Montanya.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Um, so you guys are women owned. You're a women led brand. You kind of almost fell into an opportunity. It sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to say life takes you crazy places and you got to take chances. So I knew from the second I started working the production floor in the craft spirits world that that's kind of where I wanted to lead my career. So now I'm a business owner and I learn new things every day and that excites me. So I'm happy to take Montanya and grow it to be when people think of American rum, they think of Montanya.
I love that. I think that as we're talking about, women's wisdom and right, women's wisdom and your wealth and being able to seize the opportunities that are presented to you, it, it that's a whole different level expansion, right? Um, sometimes opportunities come and we're like, oh, I can't do that. Oh my, we have that imposter syndrome where we think like, oh my, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. And for you to kind of take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and be able to say, hey, you know what, we can do this. And it sounds like you're really enjoying what you do. Like you kind of parlayed your your education into something that works for you. You're like, yeah, I worked in gas, but I don't want to be doing that. So, I found something that I like. Even when you were like, oh, I, love like being out there and doing on the floor and doing these things, to becoming an entire business owner, of a brand that's growing nationwide is huge. And I think that like the story is amazing, and you have a great product.
Hmm.
And so that's where, to me, like that's the great intersection of the sweet spot is you have a good story, and your product is also a great product. Then you're like, okay, that like this, I can see this, right? I can see this doing things and going places, um and standing for something. I think a lot of the times, especially in this industry, in the spirits world, it's really been a dominated by men, and women are coming in and making their mark, and they're standing for something, and they're standing on things, right, and saying, hey, we're here, we can do this, and this is how we want to do it, and do it in your own way. I think a lot of sometimes, we get to the point where we're like, oh, I don't want to be that, I don't want people to be like, we're a woman owned brand, but you are, and that's something to be proud of, in an industry that's not dominated by women, and to be out here making a name for yourself, and doing the thing, and creating a great product, and putting it out there for people, and saying, hey, this is what we stand for. We don't have any additives in our product. Like, we don't have any of these things. We're trying to be more conscientious of what we're doing, and what we're putting in the bottle, and what we're providing to the public, for consumption. We want to create something that's good, and good for the community, and people around us. So congrats to you for that. So
Thank you. And thanks for having us on the show and being able to share a story with a broader audience.
absolutely. So I did want to talk about these, because you sent some chocolates. I did not open them because I was on a 6 week challenge of trying to get myself summertime fine. And but you guys have these chocolates. So how did you decide, like, hey, we should do this too?
For sure. That was kind of a Megan thing. I'm a big chocolate person myself. I like sweets. So being in Colorado, in a town in southern Colorado called Durango, there's a local chocolatier chocolate company, and they like to partner with spirits brands to put their spirits in chocolates. So basically, what you have right there is our Oro rum. So it's our 2-year aged rum in a bourbon barrel, Louisiana sugarcane. It's
So this is in
basically,
here.
it's basically like a rum caramel chocolate, more on the dark chocolate side. Um, so we ship them our rum, they make it into chocolates. Being a distillery that's in a tourist town, we found that people that come to visit like to take home a piece of Crested Butte or a piece of Montanya. And I mean, who doesn't love some chocolate? So uh, we've even done pairings where you pair like the Oro rum with some chocolate, and it's really good. Uh, I'm excited. I hope you taste it on the show because it's really
I'm opening it now.
yeah. Um,
I am opening it now. So now, if someone wanted to purchase the chocolates, do they go to Montanya, or do they go to another site?
You know, that is that's a good question. So currently we just sell them at our tasting room. But if
Okay.
anyone's on the show right now, they can message us on Instagram, Montanya Rum, and just say they want some chocolates. And we're still small and craft, and there's real people running our brand, so we can get anyone chocolates. Um,
These are so fancy, first of all. Let me just say, let me just say how freaking cute this is, right? So as I looked at the packaging, so all of our soul sippers out there, you guys are looking for elevated experiences, right? This is just gonna elevate. So there's one, two, three, four, five chocolates in here. And it's a little package with like a clear cover. And I was expecting that this like it's so it says Montanya rum on it. And I'm like, oh, that's a cute label, right? I'm thinking it's like a cover, like it's not. It's like stamped onto the chocolate. So stop playing with them. They are serious about this chocolate business. So, and as I'm taking it out of the little wrapper here, I can see that there is, if you see, like there's a little caramel string that has come on. Oh my gosh, oh my God.
it's a little liquid in the inside.
Look at that. Oh, oh my God. Mmm. I'm gonna lick my fingers. That's crazy good. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I did not open that before and try one because I would have ruined my challenge and there wouldn't be anything for me to share with you guys. That is crazy good. Okay, now I gotta know how I get these.
Um, yeah, we've thought about putting them on our website, but that kind of gets hard with like shipping and everything. But if anyone messages us, we can ship you a box.
Oh my goodness. Okay, now I gotta do a pairing. I just have a feeling that I have a feeling that these two things together. Yes, I'm having a second chocolate on the show because I'm going to pair this with this Oro rum.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, it's probably better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we actually serve those chocolates at our bar as like an aperitif almost. So
Yeah,
like uh just like something sweet with a drink as like a little nightcap.
that's it. Oh my, oh my gosh, guys. Oh my God. And that's exactly what it's giving me. It's giving me like it's a nightcap. Like, I've had a great meal. I've had a great cocktail with my meal. And now all I need is one of these little chocolates with a little bit of this in a very cute glass, of course. And mhm, yes, I say yes. I don't even know.
Well, we're a
Jackie,
little too late this year, but we'll make sure next year we get them in your Palooza gift bags.
oh my God, Jackie said, she said, yes, I would love to order the chocolates, please.
Um, yeah, tell her to message us on Instagram. We'll make it happen.
I will let her know. Jackie, make sure that you message them and they will get you. But You got to order the rum and the chocolates because I feel like it's an experience.
Yep. Ooh, we're frozen.
Oh, there we go.
Yep, you froze for a little bit.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So, yes, Jackie, we will make sure, guys, if you've joined us live, make sure that you drop your heart emojis down below. And if you're catching us upon the replay, make sure you drop your number twos in the comments down below. Make sure you go to delaceypaisley.com and then you will get the updates and our newsletters and things like that. And we'll give you all the details that you need to go to Montanya Rum and to be able to reach out to them and say, hey, I love those chocolates and a bottle of rum or 2 bottles of rum or whatever floats your boat. But that, oh my gosh, that is definitely a treat. And we will definitely have to talk about how to get these into swag bags at another time because that's great. So thank you for joining us for our Women's Wisdom and for Women's History Month. This is Montanya Rum. I have definitely put my stamp on this Oro rum and pair it with these lovely chocolates. And then today I had a daiquiri created with their pineapple habanero rum. And in the future, guys, make sure you stay tuned because you know how we do. Some days we don't necessarily have to have the brand person representative on to feature the product, and we're gonna have a cocktail every week anyway. But Megan is sipping on a rum old fashioned, and I am so excited to try that and share that with you guys as well because she's given me all of the things that I need to create this rum old fashioned. And so we will definitely be doing that
Uh,
in the future and sharing that with you as well. But I knew that you were going to do the old fashioned, so I wanted to do something a little bit different for everybody out there in Sippin' and Soul Speak land. But we're so excited for the brand and we wish you much success. And when you decide that you're going to venture out to the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, let us know so that we can definitely support and you know, pump it up and get you guys out there in this area as well. But great story. Love what you're doing. Love what you guys stand for, and that you took the opportunity to seize an opportunity that came to you and to move Montanya Rum forward. So thank you for joining us, and for everything that you have shared with us on today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, and we look forward to talking more.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. If you've joined us live, make sure you drop your heart emojis down below. And if you're catching us on the replay, make sure you drop your number twos in the comments down below. We want you to go to montanya.com and make sure that you order their products. These are amazing. You guys know I don't say it's amazing if it's not. So these are great products. Go out there and get that. And if you have some questions, make sure that you reach out to them and we'll get you in touch with them if you reach out to us so that you can get some of these chocolates in the rum and all of the good things. We want you to be dope because you are dope on purpose. See you soon. Good night.
Okay.